welcome back to Real Reviews. This is Cody Williams, and we are here to talk about my top 5 movies of the James Bond series that has a grand total of 24 movies currently. Now, before we talk about that, I want to discuss why I'm doing this video. Well, the new and 25th film, No Time to Die, was stated to release back in April, but it got delayed in the coronavirus pandemic, along with many other movies. So, while staying home, of course, I figured this would be a good opportunity to watch all 24 James Bond movies. Now, I just finished the marathon last night, and now I'm ready to discuss my top 5 of the series. If I don't include your favorite in this list, please forgive me and don't take any offense. You may not agree with me, but that's okay, because anyways, let's get cracking. Number 5. The Spy Who Loved Me. It is part of the Roger Moore era of the movies, and it was released in 1977. In this movie, James Bond investigates the hijacking of British and Russian submarines carrying nuclear warheads, along with the help of a KGB agent whose lover he killed. Now, honestly, I think this movie is the best out of the Roger Moore series. It has the first appearance of Jaws, who is one of the most memorable villains of the series, who is played by Richard Kiel, rest in peace. And this movie has really awesome car chase scenes that you can ask for. Number 4. Dr. No. It is the first movie of the series that introduces the audience to the James Bond character. It's a quintessential movie to fully understand the nuanced character of James Bond. It was released in 1962 and had the legend himself, Sean Connery, playing the infamous British spy that everyone has come to love. Now, this movie laid the foundation of the series and worked from there. In this movie, James Bond is enlisted for a case involving the disappearance of a colleague and the disruption of the American space program. I mean, it may have a very slow start because it's exploring the personal life of James Bond, but once it gets to the third act, wow, this movie does not hold back. The fight scenes during the climax of this movie are really worth seeing. It's a fun introductory piece that is really worth seeing if you consider yourself a James Bond fanatic like myself. Number 3. Goldfinger. It is the third movie of the series, with Sean Connery back as James Bond. In this movie, James Bond takes on a mission to stop Ulrich Goldfinger and his henchmen from raiding Fort Knox and obliterating the world economy. This movie, I can easily say, is my favorite of the Sean Connery movies. This movie introduces the audience to the infamous Aston Martin that James Bond drives, and has the very badass henchman, Oddjob, whose hat has a razor blade that he just throws. And it's awesome. The opening theme, sung by Shirley Bassey, is very memorable and amazing. I mean, hell, everything about this movie is memorable and amazing. Number 2, Goldeneye. Need I say more? This movie is the debut of Pierce Brosnan as a James Bond character. He's not my favorite actor to play the character James Bond, but I would say that he's my third favorite ranking, under Daniel Craig being my second favorite. Now, Pierce Brosnan did a fantastic job in this movie. You can't question that. In this movie, James Bond and a fellow 00 agent, played by Sean Bean, go on this mission, and of course, Sean Bean's character dies. No surprise there, of course. Well, years after this happens, a secret space-based weapon program known as Goldeneye is stolen. James Bond then sets out to stop a Russian crime syndicate from using this weapon. This movie is like a non-stop roller coaster of action. It's crazy. The action scenes are some of the best in the James Bond series, without being so crazy and outlandish like the other Pierce Brosnan movies. There this is definitely one of the best James Bond movies, hands down. Number 1, Casino Royale. I didn't think there would be a better movie than Goldeneye until this movie released in November of 2006. It is the debut of Daniel Craig's performance of James Bond, and he plays the character amazing. He's my second favorite actor to play James Bond, ranking under Sean Connery as number 1, of course. Daniel Craig pulls off the suaveness of the character while having a hardened look, which works for this movie just very perfectly. You can say that this movie is a reboot, so to speak. It tells the story how James Bond became 007. After earning the 00 status and getting a license to kill, James Bond sets out on his first mission as 007, where he must defeat a private banker who's funding terrorists in a high-stakes game of poker at Casino Royale in Montenegro. I don't even know where to start to begin with this movie. It's that good. From the intense parkour chase scene in the first few moments of the film, all the way to the climax of the movie. It's a non-stop roller coaster of thrilling moments in cinematic history. It's hard not to say that this is the best James Bond movie to date. I mean, don't get me wrong, Skyfall is a very good contender, but I like Casino Royale a tad better. Well, that's my top 5 James Bond movies. Feel free to tell me your top 5 movies down below in the comments section. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to keep up with my real reviews.